The Damned are currently finishing up an American farewell tour with their original lineup. We caught up with them in New York City recently, and here's how it went. Forget the Sex Pistols, forget the Clash. The first English punk band to release an album and the first to tour America was the Damned. And today, 12 years later, they're still at it. But not for long. The Damned are staggering across the states right now on their farewell tour, with all four original members, singer Dave Vanian, super guitarist Brian James, mega drummer Rat Scabies, and crazed bassist Captain Sensible all on board. And why have they reunited for this final outing?
Let's be honest about this. I'm absolutely broke and I'm back.
You think the Who are only doing it for the money?
Back in 1976, Scabies and Sensible were briefly protégés of Sex Pistols Svengali Malcolm McLaren, who tried to put them in a group with expatriate American Chrissie Hynde. That band fizzled, though, so they recruited songwriter James and ex-gravedigger Vanian, hooked up with producer Nick Lowe, and in March 1977 released Damned, 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 the first UK punk LP. Those were heady days, although the Damned aren't exactly sentimental about such one-time tour mates as the Sex Pistols.
They were very standoffish to the Damned.
Why so?
Well, because we could play, for one thing.
Or even the Clash.
No, they couldn't play, they couldn't tune their guitars. Paul Simonon used to have the notes written on the neck, you know, so he'd know which frets are hit and stuff.
In fact, the Damned figure that the best of the original English punk bands was, well, the Damned.
You know, we knew three chords. We were ahead of the others.
I've been looking at you, baby. You, baby. You, baby. You, baby.
But punk was important, as the Damned well remember.
If you take the groups that started punk, which were like the Ramones, the Clash, Heartbreakers, Patti Smith, Eddie and the Hot Rods, Stranglers, Damned, Pistols, not one of those bands had a similar sound in a musical sense. They all had their own individual sound, and that was what it was all about. And they all had their own individual style. It was about the attitude of wanting to do something with energy.
The Damned still have plenty of energy.
I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Be all right.
And lots of vintage punk attitude, too.
You know we only want your money. We're honest, aren't we? We're f***ing honest.
And so we bid a fond farewell to the Damned, a band that was never afraid to bear all in the service of its art.
It's the last time you'll ever see us. And it's the last time you'll ever see this.
The next date on the Damned's farewell tour is Wednesday night at the Celebrity Theater in Anaheim, California, and they'll be winding things up in Miami this coming Saturday. Try to catch them, they're really great.